How's it going, bros? My name is Pewdiepie. Oh my god, Pewdiepie ripped. Pewdiepie so strong. This has basically been all over any form of social media. Oh my god. Ah! It's basically been plastered on my subreddit. They even had to close down the subreddit because people kept posting about it. This isn't the why, however. But 54,000 people want a workout review. So that's what we're gonna do today. I wasn't planning to talk about it or make a video like this in a long time, at least, I don't know, 6 months, a year, for me to actually gain some muscle. I'm not ripped, okay? I'm just lean, or what. There's a difference. I feel like I still have a long way to go, but what happened was I was putting up some light outside. I mean, I was challenging ceiling gang. As you can see, my workout routine, 100 tambourine hits a day, 100... Marcia came out and she was like, damn. So she snapped a photo of me, and then we both looked at it like, what the f? Even I was shocked. I hadn't even worked out that day. It's not like I was pumped up or anything. So she shared it on her social media because, you know, it's lame if I share it. And goddamn, people freaked out. Did not expect that. I guess since people I've always been very skinny for a very long time, and people always seen me that. So you gain any form of muscle and people are like, what? Yeah, this is me before. Yep. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm glad that photo exists. And yeah, this is me now, I guess. At the end of the montage. I need a couple more montages. Come on. I even saw people online debating if I'm using roids or any sort of supplement. It's like, I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't even know what it means. I'm not that strong. And other people just going like, oh, he's super rich. He's got like a super good trainer pumping him every day. And he's got like this insane gym at home. He can afford it. So I thought, why don't I just start off by showing what my gym looks like. Welcome. And here's my gym setup. Egger spots me. Thank you very much for doing that. So basically it's just this, what is it called? Bench? It's garbage. It's so bad. It's so wonky. I swear to God, I feel like if I ever die, it's because this thing collapses on me. Half the time the screws are coming off and I have to keep screwing them in so it doesn't fall down. Nay, Egger, nay! These are super nifty. And the way they work is that you can very quickly change each weight that you want. You want 30, 40, 60, 50, 70. It goes up to 90 actually. I have 90 here, that's why. And even 10 without anything. So if I want 30, bam, lift up, ready to go. And that's why I have this wrist protection, because it hits my wrist sometimes. And it hurts a lot, so I got these. I actually recommend it if you're using these. Plus you feel more badass somehow. I don't know why. It does have a problem, which is that if I want to make a jump, it's a high jump to go from 80 to 90 pounds. That's from 36 kilos to 41 instead of going from 36 kilos to maybe 38 or 39. It takes me a lot longer to jump in weight, basically. That's the problem I have with these. But it saves you a lot of money and a lot of space to not have a whole rack with dumbbells, which would be nice. I should probably get that, but these are cheaper. I also have these, which are good for, it's good for extra grit when you're doing pull exercises. They're okay. They're not that great. It's just very frustrating. Egger, I'm filming. It's just very frustrating when you're trying to hit a weight and you know you can do it, but you're losing grip. I hate that so much, so these help. And that's pretty much it. I put my workout journal here next to all the chemicals. So I write down all the, this is me day one. I was doing flat press 50, I was doing 70, and then I could do, it's not that bad actually. I haven't improved that much. It's just, I hurt my arm recently, so I haven't really, I'm careful. I'm careful what to show here, because sometimes I write down, I get angry and I write down a bunch of shit. Do it, pussy! So it's notes for me for the next week. I always go through what I did the previous week. So I'm like, yeah, next time do this, pussy. You wimp. Right arm weak. Very compared to left. Yeah, this was 2 weeks ago I hurt my arm. This is the problem with dumbbells, and don't make the mistakes I made. Properly warm up, make the right movements. Because if you get injured, you're out for 3 weeks at least. It takes that long for the muscles to recover, and it's very easy to get damaged with dumbbells. I also hurt my back from lifting down the dumbbells, which is equally important. So if you're working out with dumbbells, be careful. I'm saying it to myself in the past. It's not worth it to get injured. Just take it slow. But yeah, I think it's cool. I like the idea that anyone can pick up this in their house. It's very small, it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's fairly cost efficient. If you don't have access to a gym, this is a pretty good base, I would say. Gym is always better, because you're gonna have machines and you're not gonna hurt yourself like I do, like a fucking idiot. That's my setup tour. I know my setup is fit and I know I could get more, but I just really like the idea that I can move it anywhere. It feels very liberating to have that kind of setup. And you can do a ton with dumbbells, like I said in the video, so just be careful. That's all. So I've never actually spoken about my workout history or whatever. In 2016, I had never been to a gym before in my entire life, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to properly squat. I didn't know what reps meant. I didn't know what sets meant. But I wanted to try and get in shape, in better shape at least. So I kind of forced myself to go to a gym. I was terrified. I had no idea what to expect, and it was just the overconfidence in me just said, okay, you just go in there and just, how hard can it be? You just put up and down weights. Anyone can do that. Don't be me, basically what I was saying. If you've never been to a gym before, ask a friend to introduce you, or even better, ask one of the personal trainers at the gym. There'll definitely be one, and they'll help you out. I keep seeing the sentiment that people that are maybe overweight or don't feel confident about their body or feel like they're going to be judged or something like that. That just couldn't be further from true. And I gotta say, the personal trainers that I worked with have just been the most motivating and supportive people, because that's their job, you know. It's so definitely don't be scared to do that. And to just get started, a lot of gyms will offer one personal trainer for free. So it's 100% worth it. Absolutely. You need to know what you're doing going into a gym. So shortly after I switched gyms and I got started with a personal trainer, which was really good. He taught me how to really push myself, how to work out with dumbbells. Ironically, this is me after going to the gym. You can tell there's some muscle, maybe, I don't know. I think the most strong I was at the time was in this video. You can sort of tell there's some muscle there, but not a lot. The Alanasa, I think she likes it. This was really good. The problem was that I didn't have a goal with my exercise. I just sort of went with it, which was a big mistake. And I knew, you know, at the back of my mind, I was working myself to the point where I was throwing up. You know, I was really almost, I wasn't actually throwing up, but when you feel like, oh God, I cannot give anymore, which is common when you start off and you haven't worked out before. But in the back of my mind, I was like, there's no way I can maintain this for a longer time, you know? So lo and behold, I got sick. I got a stomach flu that was really bad, and it knocked me out for 2 to 3 weeks. And after that, I just never picked it up again. And any sort of progress that I've gained from those months at the gym, after a year, you know, I was still fit, but most of the gains were gone. And so I decided to myself, okay, I'll just set up a bench. I'll set up some dumbbells at home and I can just work out from that, you know? And this time I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm just going to be consistent and I'm not going to overdo it. So I did that for a year, this really measly workout just to be consistent, because, you know, I've been consistent on YouTube and that's sort of been my success. So that can translate into exercise. And yeah, it just got to a point where I was fed up and I wanted to really start pushing myself. And I did that 2 months ago. And that's when I really started to notice the big difference that you've seen in the photos today. And this is after reading a lot of books, reading a lot of philosophy. You guys know I'm a fan of Mishima, so if you know Mishima, that's pretty self-explanatory. For those of you who don't know, Mishima was an author that was absolutely ripped. He talked a lot about body and action, which is a message today that seems completely lost. And I read a bunch of other books as well that helped me develop my philosophy around exercise, which seems kind of cringy and like it doesn't match. No, work at it, that's for dummies. Which couldn't be further from the truth. If anything, body and soul are deeply connected, and I wanted them to match, and that's why I really wanted to start pushing myself with my workout. So this time I had a clear goal what I was getting into. So I just needed to push myself this time. But how? I don't have a personal trainer anymore. So I sort of became my own personal trainer. I knew which workout that was needed to be done. I just didn't know how to not slack off, because it's easy to slack off when you work out on your own. It's totally possible to work out on your own, but it's always better with a trainer or a friend or with someone else. So I started tracking down my training. I wrote down in a journal, which you saw earlier, my reps, my sets, the weights, and how much rest time I would keep. And I would really try and push myself each time to make sure I was making progress. In retrospect, I don't think that was the most important thing to do. The most important thing is to really do it until you fail. Like you can't push any longer. That should be the goal instead, but it worked out for me. So my workout routine, finally we got to it. I'm sorry for so much talking. So Mondays, I do push exercises. I do chest, heavily on chest. Everyone keeps making fun of my chest in the photo, but it looks better in person. Trust me, it's massive. I got huge titties. And then I finish off with shoulders. I don't remember it in my head, but it's something like that. And then Tuesdays I do leg, squats, deadlifts, yada yada, lunges. And then Wednesday I do pull exercises. Then Thursday I do leg again, and then Friday I finish with a mix of push and pull. I know there's other variations of this sort of workout that are more efficient, and I'm probably going to change my workout pretty soon. But it worked out for me so far. I literally just Googled online like 5-day dumbbell workout. You can probably find it yourself and follow it. So, or maybe I'll leave a link to it in the description if you want to try what I did. The most important thing is to really push yourself until you fail. But the next thing, which is very important, and people always say that it's important, but then they just ignore it anyway. But it is equally important, because when you're lifting weight, you're only burning so many calories, no matter how heavy of an exercise. You don't really lose weight lifting weights, ironically. You have to change your diet if you want to lose body fat. And probably the biggest difference for me was cutting out alcohol, which is something I talked about before. I'd say maybe a year ago, I quit alcohol for the first time. As you guys know, I like my whiskey too much. I like my whiskey too much, which was not healthy. I didn't feel good about it, so I quit alcohol completely, and I did that for a couple months, and I felt, hey, great, you know, I can actually do this. But then afterwards, I just fell back into my old habits, and I felt shitty and terrible about it. Like I was slowly killing myself. It's great. So I basically made the same mistake I did with my workout as I did with my eating, or drinking rather. And there is obviously a lot of calories in drinking. That's not the reason I quit, but it helps to have another reason to quit it. I decided to just cut off hard liquor from my palate. I just realized it's not for me. If other people like it, that's great. No, I'm not doing it. Never again. I do drink maybe like a pint of beer once a week if I'm hanging out with friends online or whatever. I drink socially, basically, is what I'm saying. The Stoicism talk about how it's important to let your spirit loose. And I kind of agree with that. I think the problem was before when I quit drinking is that I was too strict on it. I didn't want to be that person in the friend group. And I think this way I'm just going to be able to stick with it. And honestly, quitting drinking, it was hard. It was a habit that I had developed, and like you probably have some food or some craving that you really feel strongly about. Maybe you don't realize that you're addicted to it, but once you cut it out of your diet, that's when you realize that you are addicted to it. And you sort of, just like you trained yourself to like that food and depend on that food, you have to train yourself to not be dependent on it. And that's really tough in the beginning. But once you get out of it, you gain a whole different perspective. And even me looking back on my old drinking habits, I really look back on it with detest and the shame of my past self. You have to realize that sensational pleasures don't bring happiness. And as soon as you take that first bite, it's already fleeting. It's not going to make you happy. And I feel like there's almost a social idea that you need food to be happy. Oh, I need these food because they make me happy or whatever, which isn't true. Recently, there was a comedian, Kumail Nanjiani, who got really, really ripped for a Marvel role. This is really impressive. Jesus Christ, those veins, bro. And I saw he went on the Kimmel show, and they had prepared this like funny idea where, okay, so you reached your goal, now we're gonna set you up with a bunch of cakes and a bunch of pizzas.
Yeah, I cannot wait to do it.
We have something special for you. Please go ahead and be careful. Your head, there's...
What?
Now, a mobile.
And I get it, it's just a funny thing, but I also feel like this shows to me at least, the idea that, oh, like these sort of things are dependent for becoming happy, or it reinforces it at the very least. It doesn't state it necessarily.
People who don't know, my wife was in a coma and we didn't know what was going to happen, and I remember very specifically the day we were like, is she going to make it? Is she going to make it? And I remember when I got to the hospital one of those days and went in, and she was up and sitting on her bed. I'm happier right now.
Sorry that this video just became me ranting about different topics. Hopefully it is helpful for people to understand my mindset, because I really think mindset is one of the most important things if you want to work out. You can obviously, anyone can pick up working out for a little while, but unless you have the right mindset, you're not going to be able to be consistently pushing yourself for it. One of the best things I've done out of all of these and the change of my life that I'm the most happy about is I looked up how much protein I needed. You can do this as well. I'll link a website down below. So you can put in your weight, you can put in your height, and then you can put in how much you work out, and then it tells you, okay, well, this is roughly what your daily protein intake should be. And mine was just way off. So I started just stuffing myself with a bunch of protein snacks, protein bars, nuts that have a lot of protein. It's not as great, but if you want something savory, it's good. This was life-changing for me because I used to struggle a lot with anger. I talked about actually my stoicism video about anger, and I had made the habit of being very angry often and very confrontational and aggressive. At first, I liked that part of myself because I thought, oh, this is another sort of image of a man, kind of like whiskey is seen as manly. It's society looks at anger a lot of ways as something manly as well. And I think recognizing these things as just that, and I started meditating on it a lot, and I was able to control my anger much, much better. Stoicism really helped with that as well, but I would still feel it. I would still feel that anger, even though I didn't act on it the same way I used to. I will feel happy and I will feel virtuous by the fact that I wasn't acting on my anger anymore, but I wasn't my happy self that I would normally used to be, as much as I would like to at least. But protein makes you so much fuller, and it doesn't make at least for me, my blood sugar spike as much. So that problem for me, which was a big problem, just completely disappeared just by me trying to eat more protein. So I'm so happy I made that change. It wasn't intentional, but it's just something that just worked out really well for me, I guess. Last thing, working out will not solve all your problems. It will not fix any sort of issues. There's obviously many reasons to work out that are very positive. You'll look better. You'll feel more confident. You'll be more healthy. But these are obviously degenerate reasons to work out. You exercise. You lift weights for Mishima, okay? You lift weights for Homer. You lift weights to escape abstract concepts like time and death. That's the only acceptable reasons. And just lastly, if you feel good about yourself already, there's no shape, whatever size or shape you are, I don't care, all right? If you feel good about yourself, great, excellent. This is not a video to make it like you have to be like this, or you have to have this mindset to be happy. This is just something that worked for me, and I'm very happy about it. And it's been really motivational as well to see so many support around it. I think that's great, and I really appreciate it. I really feel like gym bros are the most supported people out there. So yeah, this is my progress so far. Maybe in a year I'll make another video more in-depth on my workout once I actually know how to do it properly. I don't want to spread misinformation and stuff like that, but I feel confident in what I said today at least. So yeah, thanks for watching. Brofist.
Everything changes.